If you had to fight with a celebrity, who would you fight? Tory Lanez.
Lil Wayne.
Piers Morgan.
What is happening?
Man, I was very excited to do this podcast. That answer just went so many different directions. No, let's not get into that. Well, let's get into it.
Do you guys know why I said that?
No.
Why?
Because he literally just walked out of an interview recently on his own show because he has... You know who Piers Morgan is, by the way?
I've heard his name.
The British dude. Look him up. You'll know who he is right away. He's basically like a conservative talking head, and he says like really ridiculous things. But basically, he had been firing on Meghan Markle for a while, and then somebody came on his show and was like, "Listen, you don't, give her a fair chance at anything. Like, you just hate this person," and basically calling him out for certain things. And then he walked out, and he was like, I can't do this. And then I think he's, I think the show's done, or he's off of it, or whatever the case might be. But
Do you
I've
think
seen
if
a
in
lot
a
of...
scrap, he would just walk away?
Oh, did you mean like a fight?
Not like a physical fight, but like
Yeah,
if you could hash beef out with somebody, and I mean like that's what I'm saying. Like
Tory
I
Lanez is gonna shoot your foot.
This celebrity I really don't like is what I mean. Like, this is a celebrity I got beef with.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think...
settle beef.
Well, just like I
Not
think.
settle,
Well, the reason...
just what celebrity you don't like, basically.
Yeah, the reason I said my answer was because I feel like it's so easy to get on Piers' nerves, and he's so wrong about so many things. I've seen him. But you chose Tory Lanez because he shot your girl
In the foot.
No.
He shot Meg Thee Stallion in the foot. That's why you have beef?
No. Why don't you
'Cause he's
ask me
short?
why I have beef?
Because he's short?
No.
You're coming for short kings? Yeah,
The
what's
problem
the beef?
I have is not like, okay, whatever happened in the moment and whatever. I don't like the outcome afterwards. I don't like the stress on Meghan afterwards. I don't like how she's a cute...
Okay, so it's literally about Meghan.
It is about Meghan, but okay, this is more of a secondhand annoyance too, because it's like there's Tory that's annoying, right? Because he did this, but then there's the people who support Tory, and those people I really have a problem with, because they're the ones that are like, oh, like yeah, sure they found bullet fragments, and sure they were in the same place, and sure it's been confirmed, but like he didn't shoot her.
I think that is how a lot of situations play out with a male and female, where
Yeah.
it's a lot of victim blaming because this woman must be, X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. Well, we should, you could say a million things, but I think that...
Oh, what did she do to make it happen? And da-da-da-da-da. And so, like, the conversations that I've had with dudes who, like, so strongly... Like, I just feel like it goes to an illogical place where I'll be like, in this live, this happened. In this live, this happened. This is what happened.
I'm just like, why do people care so much?
If you're asking why I care, it's because more so than I have with Tory, the beef, the situation that happened, it's the fact that people will go out of their way to bring down, like, this woman just because. Like, they're supporting Tory just to be against
social
it.
commentary, right?
Yeah.
That's some sort... You could take a situation and make an example out of how people react of it. But for these guys who are like, no, yo, like Tory, like is he your friend? Is that your boy that you're defending him so hard? What's gonna happen? You're gonna be all right.
Well, he's gonna... Yeah,
I don't know. What was yours, SHAH-AMEER?
I didn't know that this was the question, so my answer
You're
was
trying to
so
fight
This is
bad.
Lil
every
Wayne?
time, I feel like. Yeah.
You have no respect.
Right.
No,
How
I
dare
love
you?
Lil Wayne. I love Lil Wayne.
No, you clearly don't. You could have picked
Yeah.
like anybody. You could have picked
She
Lil
said-
Pump.
She picked a short rapper.
You know how many
and so
littles
that's
there
what I
are?
was thinking.
You know how many
That's what I was
littles there are?
Hold on. Why was that the thought process?
Yeah.
That was what it was in my head. She's like, "Oh, Tory Lanez." Like, okay, we have a friend named Ahmad who took a picture with Tory Lanez. This is, by the way, before the whole incident. So just put a disclaimer out there. Because I asked Ahmad, I was like, "Were you scared when you met her?" He's like, "Oh, that was before." So I was like, "Okay." But dude,
I commented on that picture that Emma took, and I was like, "Is that Dower?"
But yo, he looked like a little kid next to Ahmad. Like Ahmad
He did.
was like scrunching down a little bit. Now I don't know how tall Lil Wayne is, but I heard he's not.
Shamir, why are you trying to fight
I think Lil Wayne is
What's the beef?
5'6".
There's no beef. That's why I didn't read this question properly when it was read to me.
Lil Wayne is
Now
5'5".
come up with the answer on spot. If you had to choose why you don't like Lil Wayne right now.
Okay. Lil Uzi Vert is 5'4". Go punch him in the face.
Yeah,
Lil Uzi Vert,
that's
go
true.
punch him in his diamond forehead
I
thing.
think the
honestly-
diamond's iconic.
He's
I think
honestly
it's-
more punchable.
He is more punchable, but I think
For
the diamond's
sure.
iconic. But
Shamir,
I don't like that the city girl is talking to him.
Lil Wayne, we must protect Lil Wayne at all costs.
Yeah,
He
but
is-
he did come out and like openly support Trump so that he could get pardoned.
that's
kinda
not why I would
selfish.
fight him. That's not why I would fight him.
Kanye has supported him for other reasons, and
Right.
people still like Kanye. Lil Wayne was just trying to get out of a situation. He was just trying to help himself.
Right.
All right,
And then
I've seen Lil Wayne start a whole skateboard company, and this man barely knows how to skateboard. That's my only thing. It's like, come on, bro. Like,
Isn't that skater boy?
He tries it, and he still does it.
I mean, he respects the culture. I get it.
Also, who is looking to Lil Wayne for any sort of political opinion? Both of you need to sit. Do not touch.
I'm not
Lil
about the
Wayne.
political opinion. Yo, I accidentally
Yeah,
said it, and I said I'm sorry, and now you're forcing me to make an answer. So
Yeah,
this
we
is a
are
forced
forcing
ass
him.
answer.
We are
No,
forcing
I'm
him.
asking you to apologize.
No.
I'm sorry, Lil Wayne. I do not want to fight you.
Because he's
there's ever an
untouchable.
op-
Because
if
he's
there's-
untouchable. That's
Well,
why.
he's not untouchable. I mean, Birdman really touched him. A lot.
I don't know why, but
In the
Future
bank
keeps
account.
Oh my
coming back.
god.
Future keeps coming back to mind too, though. Just because he keeps knocking up these women. But like, that's another story.
Okay, side note real quick before we do the intro. On that Future note, we had said in a previous episode, how does Steve Harvey react to Future as Lori Harvey, his daughter's boyfriend or whatever? I saw a full interview with him on Jimmy Kimmel. I meant to send it to you, Amber, but it was so funny because Jimmy was asking Steve Harvey of how he feels about Michael B. Jordan. And he was like, oh, he's a wonderful guy, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, yeah, like your daughter, she brings, guys to, I'm, not saying the quote right, paraphrasing. But basically he was saying like, there's other women that you've kind of other men that you've had to deal with from your daughter dating. And then he was like, he said something is like, not all of them that I like or something, or he was saying something with the lines of like, yeah, we don't talk about that one. And it was super shady.
Dang.
Like he threw mad shade and everyone in the comments was like, he's talking about Future. So it was like
Bruh.
so funny.
Imagine your daughter dating Future, knowing that Future's like, I feel like Future just breeds on a woman and she gets pregnant. Like,
if my daughter dated Future, I will call her the past because I'm no longer dealing with her. That's all I have to say about that.
Wow. Thank you guys for tuning into an episode of Strange Flavors. My name is Shimmer.
My name is Future. I mean, for us.
my name is Amber.
And this is the strangest and greatest podcast in the game. This is brought to you by Alif Theory. If you'd like to email us or send us your music, strangeflavorspodcast@gmail.com. And if you listen to this podcast, we're listenable everywhere. You can also see our beautiful faces on YouTube, so be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully we get that AdSense soon, so thank you guys for subscribing. And yeah, we're also on all social media, including now TikTok, @Strange Flavors. And if you'd like to support this podcast, such as our Strange Flavors Town, that includes Bobber's Bagels, Cassie's Cupcakes, Irha's Ices, Fariha's Falafels, and Uslam's Apples, there is a link down below.
Strange
And
Flavors Town.
Strange Flavors Town. Wait, that's the
Oh,
tune?
jingle.
What was the tune from last
Just
time?
wiped out Strange Flavors Town. Except we can't say wiped out. Just
Strolled through Strange
Just-
Flavors Town.
Just try each flavor at Strange Flavors Town.
now we're on cringe levels.
Hey, you started it.
You did start it.
I just really like the Tomato Town kid. I just want to adopt him and have him sing that to me every day.
Well,
But you can also hear some singing at Ronopono. That is our cultural comedy channel, and we have a Patreon for it, where we are not singing on the Patreon, unfortunately, but if you'd like to see that, maybe we'll make some exclusive content on there, where we will sing some nice tunes or something like that. But we also have a Discord, where you can talk about your discussions and whatnot. And we also did confirm one thing. The one kid who said, I've never listened to an episode in my life in Discord, he never heard what we said on the last episode, so I don't think he's ever listened after that last episode. So
Joke's on him, because I was going to say something really nice about him.
What? Were you?
that he's handsome. But now I
Yeah.
no longer want to say that because
He's not handsome
ugly.
anymore. He's ugly.
Very ugly.
Just
So,
like Tori.
Just like Tori.
What the heck? That was uncalled for.
I was just being extra. There's no reason.
And yeah, Ross, if you'd like to take it away.
Well,
take it
speaking of uglies, I currently do not look ugly. I look mad cute because
Oh.
if you can see, I got the flyest merch in the game on right now.
Wow.
Wow.
Only YouTube can see.
Wow.
Yes,
Only
sir.
you can see, but that is a fire shirt.
Yeah. You're wearing a blue shirt.
It's a navy blue shirt with the pink ice
I
cream
like
logo.
that. I like that right there.
Wait, that's
Yeah,
strange.
it's
Wait, what
it's
is
called? It's called
That's mad cute.
self-love. Self-love, but when I do it they say it's cocky, but it's self-love though.
Yo, who made that shirt?
I made this shirt.
You made
But
this
you
shirt.
can find it on strangeflavors.store.
No
You can get
way.
it right now.
That's
Oh my
insane.
gosh. You
All the-
sound sexier, like, after putting on that shirt.
I feel cute. All the ladies, they're coming after me. I'm like, don't worry
Don't
about
lie.
it, sweetheart. This, that, splat. This, that, splat.
You were talking about cringe
This,
level.
that, this, that, strangeflavors.store.
Oh gosh. We gassed him up too much,
no.
Amber.
Oh no. That's the
God.
problem.
Strangeflavors.store. Yo, I wanna especially
Wait, I'm
request
wearing
some
merch
people.
too. It's old, but I'm wearing it. And you can get the new one before it gets old. So you can be, like all fancy exclusive when it's no longer available.
Yeah, you want to get it now so that it holds value. We're talking about
Facts.
crypto, NFTs, all this stuff. Talk about real stuff, real tangible goods. You can keep this, and one day, once, we're a big deal, then you could tell somebody that you got our merch and you
Yeah.
got that splat. If you want this, if you want the one that I'm wearing, you can have it. Honestly,
Oh.
Oh my
I
god.
might
you
for a
gonna
special
auction it
cost.
off?
For a special cost. Ooh.
Oh no. I don't like
Okay.
where this is going. We were hyping up the shirt, not you, for us.
Yeah,
I think
but
it went the wrong way.
yeah, but like I'm an influencer. Like people feel influenced now,
All right, what's the next topic?
I feel less influenced.
Yeah, I feel demotivated.
I wanted to specially request people, if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts or you have an iPhone and have the podcast app, leave us a review. Give us 5 stars and give us your thoughts about what you think about the podcast. It helps us out, gives us some credibility, and down the road, all of these things, all of your support, all of your reviews come in handy once the album drops. We just want Strange Flavors to be thriving and growing along the way.
Maybe
so
we
all
can
of these
read
things
them one day
help us
on the pod.
grow. Yeah, we will. We do sometimes. I do want to read a little bit of an email though that we got in. That was super nice. From someone named Peter, and they are a new listener, which is amazing. They were really excited about the Rehma episode. A lot of people were, because apparently that's a singer that people were already listening to and really like, and then after this episode they like her even more, which is awesome. But basically, yeah, he was saying that he liked the entire episode a lot and the chemistry between us all, and that we should collaborate. And then he said, I haven't listened to all of them yet because I somehow found you guys during the pandemic and decided to click and listen because your logo was wild. Our logo is wild, and this is what it does. That logo, it has that splat. You could get it on a t-shirt right away. I'm telling you, strangeflavors.store. And then he says, so he's a first-generation Nigerian American, related a lot to the episode. Says, looking forward to more episodes and great guests. You guys are really bringing something that is needed to the world that I can't see how far it will impact, but I know it's worthwhile. And that you guys love doing it is even better for the community y'all create. Peter, thank you so much.
You know why that's sweet? There's a lot of podcasts that I listen to that I really enjoy. But the fact that you went and sent an email about how much you enjoy it, that means a lot. And thank you very much for
Yeah,
that.
facts.
We love reading emails like this. It means a lot, and I shared it with
Yeah.
everyone.
Send us an
It's-
email
it's
if you
so
hate
special.
this podcast too.
Ooh, maybe
I would
we
like
can
to
share
read that too. Yeah.
We need to spill some haterade on this podcast because we don't get enough hate. So if you or someone you know hates this podcast, we need to know why, so send it in. We were talking earlier about the Piers Morgan situation, about how he's talking all that talk about Meghan Markle. Funny thing is, this past weekend, we were I was telling Shamir, I was like, yo, the NBA All-Stars game is going to be on. Like, let's go watch that. So we go downstairs. I'm trying to find the channel. And for some reason, that day, my Verizon box is, like, not letting me switch channels, right? It just says the guide. There's no channels. Like, I could manually go up and switch them if I wanted to. But I was just like, what's the issue? Why can't I switch channels? And then the Oprah interview comes on with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, right? And I was like still trying to find where I can switch to the NBA game, and Shamir's like, yo, like, I think this is a big deal. And I was like, is it? And then I'm still like, we're slowly like backing up a little bit, and I'm clicking the remote a few less times. I'm like, yo, this is kind of good. This slap a little bit. And did it slap? Ooh. We watched it for the whole 2 hours. We delayed our meeting too. We were supposed to have a meeting. We delayed it.
Let's delay this so we can finish having the tea.
Let's wait it out. Bro, I'm telling you, like, this is better than a movie because it's real life. You know, in all of these, I feel first of all, like, I'm not trying to be like, yo, it's for our entertainment, but like, it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was mad entertaining. And like in Disney movies or whatever, you hear about, you know, oh, the princess, she went in and did this and whatever, and then they were free. Like, this really happened with a real royal family. What?
Right.
That is crazy.
I think it's even better that, like, Harry got to see his mother kind of go through so many, like, mental health issues and everything, like, the institution not helping her, and her, like, doing this interview, but, like, you know, didn't really truly feel justified by his mother's situation, and the fact
his
that
mother being Princess Diana.
His mother being Princess Diana, the people's princess, and then
and Pakistan's princess.
And apparently, our mothers will swear that, like, Princess Diana was like this.
I put out this tweet the other day, which I was like, for some reason, if you're a true Pakistani, you support two things to the death.
That are not Pakistani.
That are not Pakistani. Palestine being free. We love our Palestinians. And from birth, we're just told, free Palestine. And number two,
do it.
Princess Diana, free Diana too. Like, we just love justice for Diana. We love justice for Palestine. That's what makes you... If you don't believe in those two things, it's like you're not Pakistani for some reason.
Yo, my mom was, I feel like, deep in a village when Princess Diana got married. Like, not really televisions or nothing. And she's like, on that newspaper, she looks so pretty and da-da-da. And every time I hear, like, older people talking about the Princess Diana, they're like, her wedding, and then, like, she was such a good person and da-da-da. So that's one of those things that feel Pakistani. Like, they feel desi. Princess Diana
it's like that trend. Name something that feels blank but isn't. It also might have been because of the pictures of her in Silver Kameez, but I think I would like to say that she was just overall a really, I mean, we all think that she was this beautiful person that, like, you know, it was always related with, like, helping the world and all of these things.
Mm-hmm. The people's princess.
The people's princess.
And so I think it was cool for Harry because he got to see that whole thing happen with his mother, and I'm sure that left a lot of trauma for him. Especially
not cool is not the right word.
Cool. I'm sorry, that was a bad word. Give me another one.
Like just
justifying, or
repeating history. Yeah,
satisfying to see Meghan be able to kind of, like, free herself in a way that, like, can kind of be seen by the world.
Delayed justice.
And the thing is, like, sure, this isn't the outcome that they wanted, because the fact that their kid is, like, the first kid automatically that is just not going to be able to get a title of prince, and, like, the fact that they lost security, obviously none of those things fall in that category, but the fact that all that stuff happened to him and everything and his wife and that dynamic, for him to be like, I've seen history happen before, but then make an emphasis that this is even more serious because of racism. You know, Meghan kind of tiptoed around it. You know, Oprah was like, racism. Meghan's like, racism. Harry came under, like, racism. Like, it was racism. Like, it is racism. And, like, that was cool. That was not cool. Cool needs to get out of my language. Bye. But, like, it was nice seeing this husband step up and kind of play this role that be the man for Meghan that he probably wished his father was for Diana.
You know, when we were watching it, I was realizing, like, when Harry came in and he was stepping up and doing all these things, even though he obviously is sacrificing so much, right? His whole family, his whole position, like, this is no joke.
Financial
when he said,
cutoff.
right, all those things, just so many. But I was like, why, for some reason, does he still seem like the hero in this situation? And I was kind of recognizing my own bias where I'm like, yo, like, Harry really did that. Like, he really got his girl out of that. But I'm like, yo, but, like, she really showed him like, woke him up. You know, like when he said, what's that?
She, like, showed him, like, real life.
Yeah. What's the one thing he said? He was like, I was trapped and my brother and my dad are still trapped. I was like, oh, snap. Because we often, back to the Disney stories, we often hear it in a way that's like the prince or like the hero rescues the girl and that's the reason that she's free or whatever. In this case, it's actually the opposite, but we don't necessarily recognize it that way. We're always like, oh, well, she must have done something, or there must have been, you know, it wasn't as bad as she's saying it and whatever. And that's what Piers Morgan was doing the whole time. So maybe there's a little bit of Piers Morgan in all of us, but it was like, it was just realizing that, like, damn, like, the guy always looks better in the situation.
Yeah, I mean, I guess because in this situation, you know, Meghan wasn't born with a title. Meghan married into a title and gained a title. Harry was born with the title and is essentially sacrificing the title going forward by being in a situation and being in this marriage and doing everything with it, and kind of, you know, he could have been like, I choose status over family, but he makes an emphasis that family is what matters to him the most, and like that was modeled to him through, you know, his mother and everything. And but I think it's his transparency with the situation is like very applaudable, because I don't feel like most people in this situation would come out and be like, my brother's trapped, my dad's trapped, and da-da-da. But this isn't now. He's also been saying this for, like, years, where he's like, you know, the palace life ain't my, like, I'm not about this palace life. And, you know, there's so many videos of him, like, just, like, being about it. And, like, I was like, he's genuinely, like, such a model husband. Like, and I don't know if it broke your heart, like, where she was like, don't want to get her words mixed up, but she said something like, I got dressed up and I, like, went with him, even though I couldn't. And she's like, oh, like, you know, you went because you had to. She's like, I couldn't be left alone because I didn't know what I would, like, do to myself. Right. And, like, I can't imagine that love, like, that feeling of feeling so low, of not being, like, being literally a princess. Yeah. And then still feeling that way. And the fact that you are at this, like, high level, like, there's, like, literal money going into it, and you're asking for help and it's not being given to you. I can't imagine for him to be like, hey, I recognize my wife is not getting help. I recognize there's a shame matter here, and I need to get out of it because this can't happen to her for too long, because I can't lose her.
Yeah. I asked SHAH-AMEER, I was, like, asking him all these, like, what if questions the whole time. And I don't know if he was getting annoyed at me because I love doing that. But one of the things I asked him was, like, what if that was you in that situation where, like, you go into a family and literally, like, let's not say that it's that exact family, because we don't really know everything. But, like, say you go into a family where you're just, like, everyone hates you and is, like, low-key just taking stabs at you and whatever. And what'd you say?
I was saying, like, we should all, like, I would put in the effort to, like, you know, if they say, like, sometimes when a guy marries a girl, like, the guy's side doesn't like the girl, or, like, the girl has, like, you know, some arguments with that family. So in my position, I'd be like, all right, let's try to like fix this, and like let's all try to like go on some vacation where we can figure out like, you know, what our roles are and like how to work with each other in these certain situations.
I was like, that ain't it. You go on the vacation, you're getting pushed off the cliff. You're gonna pull off something where you're just
But
like,
it's like especially in Desi households, bro. Like, there's no other way. Like, if you go to a dawat, you're not solving it there. You can't have a meeting. You can't solve it like that. Like, I don't know.
It's almost easier being the guy that's hated by the girl's family because there's not as much involvement. Whereas, you know, there's in Desi culture that ownership over the son's wife.
oh, 100%. I think this is what I was saying too. Is just like it's easy for the guy in the situation because, like, you're not seen to have as many expectations besides like providing, and then I was like, if I was in that situation, I would honestly find it so entertaining. Like, I would low-key prank back. And, like, if they were saying that, like, I was like, okay, so we have a thing with skin tones in our culture, too. We were actually talking about this before we did the podcast, where, like, people will say, okay, hopefully the baby's not, like, dark or whatever, right? I was like, I would literally, in that situation, like, call up one of my African or African American friends and be like, yo, can I borrow your baby? And then be like, yo, guys, look. And just see their reactions just for the fun of it. And then just mess with them like that the entire time to make them realize how silly they are every single time. Pull pranks on them. It would be, but then Shamir was like, yo, I'd be concerned for my safety. Like, at that point, doing anything like that. Because obviously, you know, if you're in a freaking royal family and all of that, like, yeah, you can't be doing that.
I feel like if we took the royal family equation aside, even Meghan, you know, could be more escaped from it, but she's politically and socially tied to this family and like has to be a part of it and stuff. But for a girl just generally going into a family with the guys hating them, like, that's like when I'm like, yo, like, that's like when that's when the living in-house situations can't work. That's when, like, you know, you visit on a Sunday, you know, like, for an hour, and then we gotta go to the other house, you know, like, you gotta keep it, like, you know.
It's just so hard to imagine yourself.
You can't fight with your husband's family. Like,
at
least, like, the husband can be, like, more arrogant and be like, okay, well, like, all right, you just go with her then. Like, just the wife can go and, like, visit the family, I feel like would be more than, like, oh, why does your wife not want to come around?
but like, if you know that your family is toxic or that they have this kind of issue, then either you have no awareness at all, or you're like, you know what, like, my you know, significant other is not wrong in the situation, so it's actually, you know, you're carrying the same way that Harry said, like, I need to take care of my family. He's talking about his, like, now new family that is his permanent family, and not like his everybody else that's been there right before that, because this is also his family now, and it's really important to him. So it's just really hard to put yourself in her shoes in any way. None of us will ever know that. We are just not pretty enough to ever be in that situation, let alone just, like, you know, be born into it, because everybody in that family ain't pretty. That's the tea for that.
That's
though.
facts.
Yeah. No, I was scrolling through Twitter the other day, and, like, speaking of women, Burger King released a tweet that said women belong in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I was scrolling through Twitter, and I was like, what?
Wait, that was actually from their real verified account?
From their real account, they wrote, women belong in the kitchen. It has over 150,000 retweets, 600,000 likes, and I clicked on it, and I was like, what the heck? And then if you look into the replies, they say, if they want to, of course. Yet only 20% of chefs are women. We're on a mission to change the gender ratio in the restaurant industry by empowering female employees with the opportunity to pursue a culinary career. We are proud to be launching a new scholarship program which will help female Burger King employees pursue their culinary dreams. So my question
is such bad marketing.
That was cool.
That was my question. Is it good or bad?
I thought that was good. Wait,
Bro,
I don't know if that's... Am I going to be canceled by the female population? Because...
No. That's not the issue. Like, obviously they're doing a great thing, but just to send out a tweet
Well,
without any...
It's clickbaiting, right?
They're clickbaiting, But they're also, trying to spread like a positive thing, have like scholarships and stuff to help advance female culinary careers. But people are like, yo, Chief, this ain't it, because you're using sexism to promote something.
No, they're doing like they're like clickbaiting sexism to be like, hey, we're actually like doing something great here. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I think it works, and it's kind of funny when the proper organization does it. So if you're if you're us, for example, right? And we're as like Strange Flavors, as Ronopona, we're like, oh, women belong in the kitchen. We put a picture of Amber like in the kitchen, and then it's like a good ad. Then we can be like, oh yeah, like we're trolly, we're funny in that way that we would do something like this. For Burger King to do it, like you already know the climate we live in. Like I just don't understand why you would. And I see a bunch of articles that now say Burger King apologized for that. So like,
and they deleted their tweet.
Yeah, so nobody was like, yo, like, I don't know if it's going to, like, people are ready to be open-minded. Like how, Amber, you're saying, I agree with you, but, like, I wouldn't even take that chance if I'm in this climate as a
Yeah, but, I mean, like, look at how many people are talking about it,
Yeah,
too.
I think it spreads the message even more than if they tried something else.
Sure. I guess,
like,
I guess
they
it
could have
works.
been, like, every single other brand being like, Happy International Women's Day. We love all the people on our team. He was like, I mean, they were like, imagine me hearing that, like associating it with a male. But like them being like, women belong in the kitchen if they want to. Like that's very quickly followed up. You can't be mad for more than 3 seconds until you read if they want to.
Yeah. If Michael B. Jordan tweeted this exact same thing, what would you say?
I mean, like, where can I apply to work in that kitchen?
Amber wouldn't even see the reply. She'd be like, oh yeah, they do.
Amber would be like, yes, I agree.
And then he would be like, women belong in the kitchen. And I'd be like, are you looking for a chef? I will be the head chef so quick.
I think it definitely depends on who's doing it. And for example, like the way that this initially came off, it was like if Noble was some sort of way to describe some sort of marketing campaign to get black people in college or something, and they were like, get the N-word pass, and it's like, and even after you see like, oh, they're actually referring to, I don't know why I said Noble, whatever word you want to use, you get the example I'm trying to use here, but like, it's still like, yo, fam, what you trying to do? What you know that TikTok? What you trying to get into, Burger King? You know that guy that puts up his eyebrows? Nobody knows this TikTok guy?
No.
Oh my god, I have to find his name,
pages.
But
no, he's a legend.
This was
Legend
actually
on your For You page.
this is actually on
Everybody's.
International Women's Day, which is why I think this blew up even more.
Right.
I think
It comes off
idea.
as a
don't even think they should have apologized. I think they should do it again next year.
well, if you apologize, you automatically lose because then
Yeah.
you're saying, yeah, we didn't, make the right decision in vetting this campaign at all.
If it like negatively affected people, that's not good for their brand.
How did it? Okay, if you're saying that Burger King's tweet negatively affected you, like literally get off Twitter. Like get off Twitter and go find another. Go on like Pinterest and scroll there.
His name is Trags. Trags. I don't know how you say it. Trags. But look, this guy. The guy that always says like, "What are you trying?"
Okay.
Oh man. Whatever.
I'm trying to see their apology on Twitter, but I don't see.
I'm such a Ute.
I don't know why you brought that up on the podcast. It's just so random.
Cause it's so famous. It's like the Tomato Town kid.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But then
Can I
you're
be
like,
honest?
oh, this guy, and then
I just want you guys to know him, and I want to hear if other people, like everyone I know knows him. But okay.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
What?
Every time you say Tomato Town, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Damn.
Number 1 victory royale. Yeah, Fortnite. We about to get down. Get down. See?
Okay. Got
There you go.
I think that we live in a time where a lot of people are making a lot of references to things that are like D-class famous or probably like F-class famous. And so we all live in different, like you're saying, For You page. Like you live in a For You page that is still getting millions viral hits but I'm also getting that type of For You page, but there's too many famous things now.
Yeah, but I like it. Like, me and my homegirls, like, were on a weekend together, and we only spoke in TikTok, like, sounds. It was
we know you like TikTok sounds. You always liked sounds before that too. You make sounds of animals and different
I like,
disturbing
like, you know,
things that we don't know what you're talking about most of the time. But now you
Writing?
have TikTok. Great, good for you. We're
Good for
super happy that
us.
you finally have a community that you
of
can
people
finally
who can just relate to sounds.
speak your
with me.
language. Yeah,
Love
I
it.
kind of like it too when I know the reference.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That one kid one, though. I'm sorry. That one kid one, though.
What
You know
kid
what I'm talking about? You know?
No.
Where it's like, waking up in the morning, gotta
I
get
hate
my
that
clothes
sound.
on.
I hate that
Things
sound.
would get better. I don't like
No.
the sound, but like I have not been disappointed by any video that's been associated with that sound.
You know what I like the sound of?
Our next guest.
Success. Which is exactly, you tried to take that.
No, I thought you were
in the
setting
right
it up for
direction.
us.
You did. No, you had the idea, but you got the wrong word. I wanted to say success, but you're right. Okay.
What if I said something so bad? I was just like,
Shamir already
Failure.
spoiled it, guys, but I'll get to it because this is a very exciting part of this show, which is Our Stranger. Our Stranger this week is a multi-dimensional entrepreneur who used dance to grow a successful name and business for herself. She shares her inspiring story from wanting to flip rotis to flipping the script. You'll see what I'm talking about when you hear this amazing come up. Everyone, please welcome Our Stranger, Monica Ahuja. I actually just realized when Amber sent over your stuff that you were at my sister's wedding.
Yes, I was.
I didn't.
Yeah.
We haven't officially met, but
We have
I saw.
We just passed through.
Yeah, and you're like a really incredible dancer. So then I saw like all the stuff in your bio and all that, and I was like, oh, that makes sense now. She was going off.
Yeah. I don't know. I think she's even in the dance wedding highlight, and she was just like the one who knew what she was doing. We were all like, dancing, whatever, but she knew what she was doing.
Well, thank you for being my partner, Amber, that day.
Of course, any day. I will be your partner any day.
So somebody was actually just talking to me about this, and they were like, hey, I don't know how to feel, but I actually get invited to weddings with my friend solely to dance. So like at the Mendi, and then I don't get invited to the actual shadi, the wedding day. Does this happen to you?
Actually, no. However, lately, because of COVID, I could see that happening to me too. They would probably want me to come to Mendi and just dance it off and have fun. And then, the wedding ceremony would be like, 15 people, let me keep it like restricted.
They have a term for that. It's called energy producer.
oh.
I'll take it.
I don't think Desi people have a term called energy producer. I think they have a term called this is where the cut list happens for guests, and you are not on it. You're solely there for the entertainment. Like
Yes.
the person I'm talking about, they were like offended because they're like, I feel that I'm not being valued as a guest, but more so as somebody who is just providing the entertainment
And free
that's why I'm
entertainment.
That's
also,
happened to me, but
I've
I'd,
heard
That
this.
happened.
I'd be proud of that.
Really?
Yeah, that happens to me. Like people will be like, oh yeah, like come to the Mendi, like just be hype and stuff, and I'm like, you think I'm hype? Lit?
Hey, you get to wear a cute outfit, take cute pictures, and dance? I'm in.
She said
But
what
it's
she
okay.
said.
Okay, I guess maybe that's different than like sometimes my sister, like she's one of the only ones that will like choreograph and do something like really well put together versus like girls that kind of just stand there in a row and look at each other and like do the same thing for like 3 minutes. She wants to actually like choreograph something. So then sometimes she gets asked along with my brother and I. My brother's a really good dancer. So I'm the only one that can't dance here, but I
Well,
make it
I've
work.
seen you
dancing
make your
crowds.
stomach move in a
What
couple
is it?
videos. I've seen you make your stomach move in a couple videos, so I guess you can dance.
Oh, that gut moves. That gut moves on its own. But yeah, then when like any of us get invited, and then like the aunties are like, "Hey, like go, like make the crowd work, or like do this and that." then it does feel a little weird. But I guess I don't know, if you're a dancer, that's what you like to do. Maybe that's your vibe.
See, it's like for me at that point, I don't really think about aunties and uncles. I'm just dancing and having fun. So I guess that's where my energy goes into.
Does anybody ever come up to you and like, or give you like stares or anything for the way that you might be dancing or something that you might be wearing or anything like that, especially in our culture?
I think I've never had that. Yeah, I've never been through that. Like, I don't recall a occasion where somebody gave me like the death stare.
She's enjoying herself so much that if somebody wants to talk trash or say something, she is so unbothered she didn't even realize.
The
Yeah,
nuzzer
probably
doesn't
not.
affect her. No
Yeah.
nuzzer.
Those are
Yeah,
free.
probably not.
She keeps the
I'd be
hater
like-
goggles on at all times.
But
That's
I
awesome.
enjoy weddings. I would go there. Like, if somebody's even calling me for one event, I'll do it. I love weddings.
Do you, because you're are you a professional dancer? Would you say that you're a professional dancer?
At this point, I think I can call myself a professional dancer because I've been teaching for quite a while now. So,
I mean,
and,
what even makes
Yeah, what
up
is that?
like you get checks for dancing?
I'm sorry, what?
Like money, you get paid for dancing.
Oh, okay.
So would that classify as being a professional dancer? Like, what is even the criteria, you know?
I guess in a way, because just like any other profession, you become an influencer, you start making money, you're an influencer. Or you like any other profession, you're a doctor or engineer and stuff like that, you are a professional, that's why you get money. So when you're teaching dance, you're a professional, you're getting money for it.
Yeah. So what even, like, when you're doing, you mentioned the whole influencer thing. You've got quite a few followers yourself on Instagram. So, like, have you always seen dancing as a way to as something you could monetize off of? I'm trying to pull up your thing.
Yes,
26,
so
almost 30,000 followers. So you're like a dancer influencer.
Choreographer,
I'm actually,
too, right?
yes. So I kind of started I've been dancing since 6th grade, so I kind of knew I always wanted to go in the dance field. In fact, I remember writing down in like a little slam book, back in India, we used to have these autograph diaries where you would fill it out for your friends and yourself. I filled it out that I wanna teach dance when I grow up. So it was just a rare thing that I put there. I think I was 6 years old, and then I did that slam book thing in 8th grade.
What kind
maybe
of
9.
dancing did you start with?
Bollywood, just plain Bollywood. I would just look at songs and just I've never been trained except for Bharatanatyam for 2 years.
Ooh, so she's
Yeah.
actually classically trained, because Bharatanatyam
Yes.
is technical.
Yes, but I kind of lost all the touch because I came to US and I didn't practice again. But I don't think I would call myself like a dance influencer, because I think there's million dancers with like a lot more potential and like cool different steps that they can do. I'm not there. I would consider myself
but the bar for that, for dancer influencer right now, is like Charlie D'Amelio. This
Oh
thing.
yeah, TikTok.
That's it.
And then,
And you
Yeah.
have actual moves too, and I think it's cool because yours combine dance, but also with aesthetic. Somehow, you have a way of combining dance with aesthetic and a vibe. You'll be dancing, but in a puffy, beautiful skirt. Simple dance moves sometimes, but the video, like, I'll be sitting there watching it like 15 times. Like, this girl just like gave me such a good vibe.
It's all about good vibes. But I would feel I feel like I'm like a combination of like the like fashion and dance. That's the reason like the dance like steps are simple, but then everything is aesthetically pleasing. So I put everything into consideration when I'm like putting a project out there.
so for you, it becomes a whole like you're talking about the
Production.
video, basically, the video production of it.
Yeah.
So it needs
Because
to look
that-
good.
Exactly.
And the dance moves need to be on point. Dresses, everything has got to
Yep.
be on point.
So do you make these dances for a video just so it can be released out online, or is it like for a specific event, or both, or?
So I choreographed for Miss Pakistan USA for 4 straight years. I would choreograph for that. I've choreographed for like many series. In fact, like college shows like Tempest. There was a whole Bollywood series of it. I did that. So I've done like things where it's not for YouTube or Instagram, but then I've also done things just to put something out there to get those views and to get those likes and stuff like that. So I think a little bit of both.
What is the world like for you when it comes to like how social media has evolved and seeing TikTok and all of that? Like, are you on these apps as well, trying to blow up and get your stuff out there?
I started TikTok. Like COVID times, like I think the first 2 months I was at it every day during lunch hour, put my pony on, put my outfit on, and like start doing those TikTok dances. But like it didn't last long. One month after, and I think I just I think my profile is on there, but there's probably like 3 videos because I deleted most of them, left the ones with like 70,000 views or something. But then I don't use TikTok anymore.
You still post like reels and stuff, like transition videos.
Correct. So
like outfits, fashion
correct
type videos.
Yeah. But then I transitioned myself completely into Instagram because I was like, there's no point of me trying to grow 2 platforms when I don't have that much time. I can just focus on one platform, grow it to its fullest, and then just, call myself master at one thing instead of like trying to be jack of all trades.
Well,
but like I would argue that you are that. Like you do so much
in different things. But then platform, when you start dividing platforms, you're dividing views. You're dividing like people altogether. Because first TikTok was easier because there was like India was allowed to use TikTok. But then after India banned TikTok, a lot of Bollywood songs won't even take that much of a hit. So it's just TikTok dances at this point.
Okay, so the reason I'm asking this question about, the way that you, I guess, market yourself or whatever is because you are like I would say a successful businesswoman. But I want to backtrack before we actually talk about that. And, when you were talking about your upbringing in dance and everything, what did you see as a career for yourself? Isn't this an extremely difficult field to like, even we were having trouble trying to figure out what the professional dancer or just want someone who does it as a hobby is. So what did you see as something like working out some sort of consistency in this field?
So if you had asked me this question when I was like, in India, I would say I was trying to be a housewife. I did not know I had a goal or anything in mind because, again, as I mentioned, my family was not into arts or anything like that. So I was raised as a child where I didn't get good grades. I failed most of my classes. I would only go to dance and, arts and chess and tennis and like all the things that was not what my parents would call as a good child. So
was it because you didn't have to? Like, did you have that expectation of, I'm just going to be a housewife anyway, so I don't need to?
Yeah, because I really thought I was not good for anything because like my grades said so. So I was like, that's it. I would just like make little pretty clothes for my dolls. I self-taught myself. Nobody really taught me. And then, just had the chance to dance and like I started liking dance and I got invested in it. And then I just said it out loud where I'm going to do that someday, but I did not think in my million years that actually I'm going to get to US and actually start something of my own. And this is where I am today. So if you asked me before, like I didn't have any goals or aspiration when it comes to dance or I'm an influencer or fashion or anything like that.
What was the shift for you when it came to, all right, this is going to be something legit that I can do as a career?
I think once I came to high school, I started my own club, cultural dance club. Then I went to college, I started another dance club, and I started seeing that people are actually enjoying that. They actually value arts and creativity here more. And I think in 2016 is when I participated in Miss India DC, and at that point I was also training for a teaching at Miss Pakistan USA, and all of a sudden, like right after my graduation, I got involved in a lot of things. And then I went to the Desi conference and concert in New York. I think that was happening in 17 or 18. And then that's where the idea came to me. You know what? I want to monetize everything and I want to actually make this a little bit more professional. I started DC Wale Desi for that very reason because there is literally nothing here like New York City. So every year there was like a ladder towards it. There was not a significant moment that I would say that like led me to think, oh, I'm going to do this one day. But it was like a series of things that were just like working out for me that got me to where I am today.
So DC Wale Desi, that was one of the first, it was a dance group that you started?
No, it was just a community platform, which we started like Desi Grooves was one of the dance part of it. But then the whole platform was about anything to do with creativity.
Okay, so creative people in the DC area.
Yep.
Was it over like Facebook or something?
Instagram,
okay.
Again, Instagram.
And yeah, like what were people doing in that group?
So we were featuring them like any other, other social media pages. We were featuring the people to get them involved. And then what we started doing is marketing Desi groups. Like we created our own in-house dance workshop, and I would give a chance, an opportunity for a person who doesn't have enough followers or anything like that. You don't really require those to teach somebody. And there are great dancers in the DMV they don't get the exposure that they should. So I gave them a chance, actually monetize them, where people were paying $20 to get the dance class. I was paying the trainer or teacher at that point, an instructor, and everybody made money. The other thing that they were like marketing, like, you know, I connected with different brands and people. Since I was creating a database of Desi people in the DMV area, I was able to tell them that, hey, I can help you. If your market is Desi people, then in the DMV area, I got you covered. So we were able to create marketing campaigns for those kind of companies and make money out of that too, while helping them in the same process. So like
That's
everything
incredible.
kind of, like, it was like amazing to kind of help someone at the same time be able to make money, which, you know, when I would say to my dad that, hey, like, I want to do something, that it's not a stable career. But I feel like in arts and creativity, like, people make more money through that than their regular jobs.
Yeah, I think what's really interesting is, at first I'm trying to look at it through the lens of how do you make dance a career, but what you're really doing is, as you mentioned, you built a database of
like a
people
community.
of the
Yep.
of a similar community. That's what these apps do nowadays, right? They sell data
Correct.
to each other. I like the way you did it because it seems more right. I don't know why, but it
It's
like
more
even if-
personable. Like,
and-
I was able to interact with these people. We were able to take the data. We were able to take their emails and information. Like, it was like more personalized messages and, like, you know, things were at more of a personal level, and that's where they were at ease to give us those emails, and they were comfortable giving us the information that we needed, and we were able to talk to these companies, and we've never had issues so far, at least. So
Yeah.
I think it's
so
going
it's
well.
like that page, Bollyville, right? That's the one with all the
Something
dance
along those
groups.
lines.
But you did it
Yeah.
individually for this group, and then you did it with what, like other cities too?
So yeah, I've started Philly and then Jersey, and now we're starting Boston sometime soon. So basically, my goal is to create a chapter of it in every single state or like major cities of US where you have more Desi population.
Nice. And how big are all of the, like, what's your biggest sort of following or like accomplishments with those?
And DC Valley Desi is about 5,000 people.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that would be the biggest, because that was the first one that I started. So I think the first one, I launched it in 2018, I believe. And 19, we did the whole 1 year anniversary. We did the calendar year award where we were able to nominate an award like different brands and like, for example, favorite photographer, you know, the best voted photographer in the DMV. And these are the people who nominated them. I mean, got them to win. Like, they voted for them, their friends and their family. We didn't have anything to do with it. But then now they can write on their title that award-winning photographer in the DMV area. That makes them more money.
Yeah. During these times, how do you get this community to interact with each other? Is it like only online now, or?
Yeah, it's basically like mostly online, like giveaways or like, you know, live sessions or anything like that. It was a lot easier back in the days where we used to host events like at least once a quarter, where everybody will meet up, even a small event or a big event. It kind of worked out, but now since it's almost a year now actually, because March 15th was when quarantine was announced last year. So yeah, it's been a year that we haven't done much.
So you started your own dance studio, right? It's called
Yes.
Let's Groove, or
Let's Groove Studio.
okay. So what gave you the idea that you wanted to eventually start your own studio?
As I said, that was one mere thought when I was in 8th grade or 9th grade, that I wanted to start a dance studio. When I saw the opportunity and I was looking around the places, I was like, oh, I have this thing open, and my friend, she's a real estate agent, commercial wise.
Nice.
So she was like, hey, I saw this place and like it's pretty cool, and I lived around there. So I was like, okay. The rent was pretty decent, and it was a brand new community and brand new location. I was like, I'll take it and I'll do something with it. And then I started thinking, and then I wanted to bring the LA vibe here, where, you know, the cool lights and like the dark, like the whole dark black box type of look and feel. Well, even though it started as a dance studio, at this point it's not a dance studio anymore, but it's still like, that's like, the idea was to just like have that LA vibe dance community built together in Manassas area. But I think the location was a disadvantage, and then the worst was the COVID that happened to me.
Yeah, I saw some of those videos, and it felt like what you're talking about. Either those the dance studios that they have in the more popular cities with a lot
Yes.
of dancers,
Like
everyone looks really
Playground.
cool. Yeah,
Yep.
There's a cool aesthetic to it. So what is it used for now? You said it's not.
It's not
dancers
just
in
for dance anymore. So I call it a creative space that could be utilized for dance, video shoot, music videos, even private events. Because of COVID, of course, the students were hesitant to come out and learn dance, and I literally signed the lease. I think March 6th is when I signed the lease, and March 16th or 18th, the quarantines was announced.
Oh man.
And I was just holding my head, and I'm like, "You the idiot! You should have researched." Again, because I saw the location, and I didn't really think it through, and I just like took the opportunity, and then kind of suffered a little.
But you've allowed a lot of like creative things to take place there. I've seen a lot of like really cool
Yes.
like creative shoots go on, very like in detail parties and everything. What made you get that idea to start doing all that? Like,
So
or
the
just-
day we started, literally a person who lives above. So it's actually residential properties on top, and then the properties downstairs are like, of course, real estate, like the commercial side. So the lady that lives upstairs, like, hey, my son's birthday is coming up. Can I use your space for a birthday party? I was
Wait,
like, well,
does she live there?
she lives there. So
Wait, hold on. So you got to explain how you manage the whole sound thing.
a lot of soundproof panels.
And she,
But
and
she's
she
pretty
knows this. She
chill.
doesn't mind.
Yeah, she's pretty chill, and I have a rule of keeping the volume at 50%. It's pretty loud still, so it doesn't transfer out. Like if you open the door, like you'll see the sound come out. Where when you close it, it's like barely a mumble. So it's pretty good so far. But of course, that was one of the concerns, that they would not give it to me until I have my soundproof check.
Did you have to like learn all that to like?
Yes, a lot of YouTube videos.
That's so
Yeah.
cool that you're literally like, figuring it out. But then was any part of this, were you fearful at all of like, what if I buy this
Yes.
place? What if it's not? How do you get over that? Because even right now when you're speaking to us, it just seems like there were decisions made in a snap and you were so confident about it.
See, right now I'm speaking confidently because, of course, it's already long gone. But at that moment, of course, there was like a lot of thinking involved. And like every moment I was just researching, Googling, anytime the next hassle came through. And like there was a lot of problems when we started because, again, first of all, just to get my Let's Groove sign here, it took me a month because it was, of course, delivering from China, and everything was banned at that point, and all the shipping prices went up, like hiked, and that's like my main sign that I have to put there. So like challenges like that did come through. It's just I had to like wait it out and be patient through it, and then finally opened up in July. Again, did not work out till like late November. So from July, like from March to July, I literally had not opened the studio. From July to like late November, I made little to no income from it. It's just like me putting in the funds that I had raised, or like my own funds. And then finally, like I did this whole shoot where I showcased a picnic and brought that whole studio rental into place. And that's when it just hit. People started renting it out for music videos, for photo shoots, for like little events and stuff. And then I was like, okay, how can I even reduce my cost even more? So I started buying inventory and building my own little inventory where I was able to just buy one thing out of one rental and then give it out to 5 different rentals. So it was easy for me. So it's like 1 rental cost and then 5 pure profit. So like I worked my way through
Awesome.
finding different ways to kind of like make money and sustain, and at the same time have fun with it, because again, anything creative, I have fun with it. So it worked out for me,
Are
at
your
least so far.
Are your parents, or like your family in general, seeing you go through all of this? Are they very supportive of all your dreams, or are they like, Monica, relax?
I had to literally make a trip down there to explain them I'm not a model, and I'm not doing just modeling. There's a lot more to me. So, I mean, they are from Pakistan, right? They were, one of my parents from Pakistan, one of my parents in India. But he was raised in a very narrow-minded family environment. So for him, understanding a lot of things have always been a difficulty. And my family has never been an easy situation for me in the first place. So it took them a while. Now they're finally getting up to the speed where like, oh, she owns a business and she's trying to make funds out of it and like make a career out of it. So they're fine now. So I don't think I've ever had that good of a relationship with them until like the past year. Like I think with COVID times, like me visiting them more often and, them understanding me for what I do and stuff, they got used to it a little bit more, and now they're more at ease, I would say.
Weren't they, because you work a 9 to 5, wasn't that causing some ease? And, you mentioned like creative stuff sometimes will pay more than 9 to 5. And like, why do a 9 to 5?
What is your 9 to 5?
I'm a program manager for an IT firm. I manage about 13
Nice.
contracts, like federal contracts.
Nice.
Stability, I would say. Because again, had I not had that my 9 to 5 job and I just went straight blank and got this business, the next thing another quarantine started, like I would have been doomed, like for real. It's 9 to 5 that kind of kept me sustained. And then, I was able to sustain through all those negative finances since the first few months when I started the business. So I don't think I'll leave my 9 to 5 till I'm like very much certain, like I have like this particular number that I think in my mind that I have before I quit that. Because you have to have certain kind of like, a leg room of like things fall down. So who's going to be able to pick me up? Like it needs to be me.
So it sounds like the whole dance studio / creative space idea is what you want to grow with and
Yes,
go on
very
with.
much.
What's the next step? Like, you have the space being hosted for different events and all of that. What comes after this, after you have your database and all of that?
So a couple of things. When you talk about Let's Groove Studio, I definitely want to get into a bigger space than this. I started this as a small project, and I feel like if I do things the way that I'm doing, at the rate that I'm doing, and continue working hard, I can expand to a bigger size of location and like do multiple things at one time. That's kind of my goal this year. I've been talking to my real estate agent, and she's been looking for a location for me. So I'm already at it, where I want to expand it and later maybe franchise it at some point where like different cities have Let's Groove Studio. Again, something cool that would happen if that were to happen. And for DC Validesi, as I said, I just want to create a chapter and a community in every single state and city, and then be also called as a marketing firm where like it's specifically for South Asians. We don't even follow anybody who's like outside Desi culture. We stick to that because it was like literally created for that very specific reason, to give that option or a chance for people who are South Asians in the media or the art community and stuff like that, and to be able to grow. And if I have the platform, why not?
You said that. Sorry, go ahead, Amber.
I feel like you incorporate like the community members pretty well within what you do. When you were crowdfunding for the dance studio, you kind of had everybody at their toes guessing like, what is this dance studio's name going to be? And everybody was kind of curious. You kind of had this thing going over, and eventually that you revealed that it was Let's Groove. How did you come across the name Let's Groove?
So I sat down for I think like about 10 days, like writing down literally everything to do with dance, and groove was one of the words, the keywords. And then it just hit me, and I said, "Oh, let's groove." And then I was like, next thing I know, I'm registering the name for it. So it worked out.
You were saying that when you were in India, you hated all your classes. You weren't good at any of
Yep.
academically. You just weren't there. I'm wondering. You're talking about real estate, business, a lot of just management skills in general, ordering signs, all of this. What's your resource when it comes to learning all of these things mainly?
I'm not sure, honestly. Like, I think one thing that came from my father is me being hardworking. I think it's the hardworking nature or like capability in me that just keeps me going, and I just like go for the next thing. And I don't think there's a skill that I learned somewhere, but I did go to school for management. I am a project management. I did have a degree in management entrepreneurship. In fact, I've gotten my PMP. I've had 5 years of training. So like if you talk about like skill set from the educational perspective, that I've gone to school for it. But again, this is something that is inbuilt in me, I would say, because I've always been this way. I've always been a go-getter. I've always been hardworking, whatever I do, just not school. But okay, I have a second master's coming up. So I guess that too, I nailed it now.
So basically you're saying was like you kind of work backwards, like, hey, I want the studio. Okay, now we have these issues like, soundproofing, all this. And then you just find your way in figuring that out.
I sit like hours and hours of like research. I just literally sit on Google all day. Like, okay, what can I do? Like last night, and this hasn't been even released. I just figured it out. Like last night I came up with this idea like, hey, I actually want to create an art installation in the studio. I think that'd be very cool. This morning I found a vendor. Everything is set. April 12th is coming up. So like it was just this like an idea comes up to me and I just work towards it. I work really hard towards it. And in 3 hours I nail down a vendor. And I'm having one now, so
that's
it's
that
just
immigrant
like that.
mentality.
Love it.
That's just like hardworking immigrant mentality. That's how you got to do it.
I would say so too.
It's amazing.
How much time does it take up for you to actually manage something like this dance studio? Are you in there like doing things, or is it kind of like, does it operate on its own?
No, it's like solely relies on me. If I'm not there, shit goes down, basically. Excuse my language.
What do you do?
So you know my 9 to 5, right? And then rentals usually happen on Fridays and Saturdays, and then Sunday I have dance classes throughout the day. I'm the person behind the camera. All these cool videos, I'm the one who makes them, I'm the one who edits them. I put in the work for it. And at the same time...
So is that something that you're offering extra, or that's like...
That's just out of me, like, because I like it.
Oh, so you need to promote it. Is that
correct.
What that's,
so it's just my way of
it.
promoting it. If I'm there, it just works out better. Things go just smoother and stuff. There are days that I've like gone for vacation on weekends, and the instructors kind of take care of themselves, but they're not the utmost quality that I want. So I like try to be there as much as I possibly can. But for events, I'm the one who sets them up. Unless it's a rental where it's like a quick cash type of thing where, hey, I'm renting your studio for a video shoot. You got nothing to do, you know, pay $75 an hour and I'm good. It's easy cash for me. Then I don't have to do much. There are the easy ones, but then there was ones that I have to actually set up for events and stuff like that. Then I need to be there. So I would say like from Thursday and Friday evenings to like Saturday and Sunday, I'm mostly at the studio unless I figured my way around or like I have a backup or one of my friends is taking care of it, then I'm there. So it does take quite a lot of time out of me. I think I've called this the struggle period, like 1.5 year like struggle period. You just suck it up and do it good. And then when you expand, that's when I can hire an employee who can just do all these things for me. And then it's kind of like, because right now, as I mentioned earlier, right, I'm figuring things out. Every step, I'm like making a new rule or like, oh, I can do this thing better like this way, and I'm enhancing the process. Once I've got a clear-cut vision of the process, like, okay, this is how things are going to be done. This is how the things are going to be taken down. Then it would be easy for me to tell somebody, and then I can give them the control. But right now, I need to have the control to be able to run the way it is running.
You said you started with like Bollywood dancing and stuff, and then you open the studio with that in mind. Is that all you teach there? Is that all you want to have Let's Groove doing?
So Let's Groove, I did not want it to be South Asian at all. In fact, that's the reason I had, like, people were guessing a lot of Bollywood style names or like Desi, towards name. Mm-hmm. I wanted to keep it central where it's like for everyone. In fact, I have probably like a couple clients from, South Asian community. It's not much. Most of my clients are Americans, like, call it anywhere from America, but not Desi. So it's a whole different entity altogether. I didn't want it to be confused, but I do provide Bollywood classes, but then most of the classes that we teach there is like hip hop, like heels, or dance hall, Afro hip hop, like stuff like that. So it's not Desi.
How do you find these quality instructors to teach all these classes?
I don't know. I see them dance and something in me tells them that's the person I want to go for. I have a 16-year-old instructor, like a 16-year-old teaching 25, 35-year-olds because I think she's like talented, and I was that person who was told that I was not talented enough and nobody gave me the chance. I want to be able to do that for other people. So I guess I also look at it as emotionally, where like, no, she deserves it. And she's proven out to be a good one because she fills up all my classes like that.
And you find them like randomly, like in the park or something?
Not really.
Oh.
Different pages or like, posting things about it. Or some people will follow me. So sometimes I randomly post like, we're looking for an instructor. So like a friend of a friend will connect through. So that's kind of how, there was one student who used to come literally every weekend, and I saw her progress to this dance. But then she does a different form of dancing and she teaches at the studio. So I was like, okay, like, hey, would you like to teach here? And she started filling out classes herself. So like, it's not a set process where I'm like, okay, no, like I'm gonna post here and I'm gonna get my instructors here. It's not like that.
You have the vision for it. So when you see somebody, not just in this aspect, but for your whole passion behind all of this, you have a certain vision. So when you see somebody that's dancing good, you probably know right away. But
I think I see more of like loyalty, like personality. Like, yes, a lot of people have skill. Like, a lot of people can dance. A lot of people can dance way better than me. But then I feel like what would stand out in me is like my hardworking nature, like my personality, or like the way I'm loyal to people. Like that's what stands out to me. And that's when I like, if you see my WhatsApp group chat with these instructors, I call it Let's Groove family. I don't call them my instructors or like employees or anything like that. I literally treat them like families. I invite them to places like, hey, you want to chill today or something. So like, that's kind of what I was trying to create, not like I think that's what I look for. So it gets easier when I see it that way.
I have a quote for you. I saw this today.
Yeah.
It says, it's a little bit more spiritual, but it says, "Fall for the soul. The face has betrayed many."
Oh, oof.
And that's kind of like how you're saying the whole thing about, you want that loyalty and trust and just being a good human being more than, okay, they're good at dancing, because you never know. Especially in this field, creative fields, it's not just about the talent.
Yeah.
It's hard to work with those people.
So, like, I don't know if you guys know Jason Ghazi, right? Like, Jason Ghazi, I met him in 2019. He's actually the one who manages DC Desi for me. He has been helping me out since about a couple and a half years now. He calls
he a
me
dancer?
He's nothing like me. He's like completely opposite, a quiet child, an introvert. That's kind of what it is. But then I saw the passion in him to like help the community, or like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it merely started with like a friendship where like, oh, I'm just trying to know your friends. And I like saw something in him. I offered him like the position at DC They like, hey, would you like to help me with this page? He was like, okay, let me think about it. Give me a couple of weeks. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. And a couple of weeks after, he's approved. And since then, he's never left my side. Anything I give to him, like, it's a top priority. He makes sure that's done. And he's, like, literally my right hand and left hand. So, had I not believed in more of a person than, like, what he is or his skill set was, I don't think I would be where I am today.
Absolutely. And we were talking about, you having the vision. What is the vision for you when it comes to the ideal scenario that you see yourself in, whether it be stepped back a little bit from the whole studio vibe and being in more managerial position, or just some other crazy sort of ambition that's next for you?
I don't think I can sit at home, so I think I need to be involved in anything and everything. I would be that person that still would want to run around and manage things and do things and be creative and keep up with my brain power. So no, like, I would want to run out, but I think what my vision is for myself in the next, let's say, 5 years, like definitely, quit working 9 to 5, graduate from that, like once I have enough funds and savings, grow my studio and grow DC Desi, but then also work with a fashion brand or create my own. I think I've always been between the two lanes of fashion and dance, like always been, enthusiastic about it since I was a little girl. So I want to keep that going, keep that fire going, and turn into something good if I can. If it fails, then it fails. But I feel like if I work hard enough, it will not fail.
I believe in you. Like, after this, I don't know how you wouldn't be able to pull that off. When you think of people that kind of, when you see, you, Monica, from Instagram or something, which is my only knowing of you, when Amber even shared it, you think, okay, yeah, like dancing, influencing, these things, like just surface level. But then when you hear like, your story and your literal just willingness to not only, pursue something that you're passionate about, but then, figure out, like Shamir was saying, work backwards on like, I want a studio, how do I get this? And then being the cameraman behind things and ordering things and constructing and all of that, like, that's really inspiring and incredible. And that's why I think you're definitely gonna be able to do whatever you set your mind to.
I really hope so.
I want to know, your kind of message to people that, especially within this last year, everyone's been discouraged in many ways. They're kind of finding their passions again. And so when it comes to working towards something that you can make like you're sustainable eventually, what are kind of like the key things that you would tell people to keep in mind to pursue their true passions?
I would say, like, literally work hard towards your goal. Like, if you like it, you research, you pursue it. There's no other way around it. There's no key magic term or or magic itself that would like help them get there unless they work for it. I don't think things come easy to anyone these days, especially these days. So like if they are looking into something and if they're passionate about something, even a tiny bit, explore that to its fullest, research, and then pursue it. That's it. That's the only thing I would say.
I think research was a huge theme that I heard.
Research is very important because if you don't do that, like, first of all, it'll save you a lot of time and hassle and a struggle and the heartache that comes along with the, the negative aspect of it, or failures and stuff like that. That will be preparing you for that. Because even if you are bound to fail, you'll have that kind of sense, you'll have that mentality where like things could go wrong. Like if you don't research, you're just literally going with point blank, like me signing up for that lease without knowing that there's COVID, and you know, falling myself
I
in
think
it.
nobody would have really been able to predict that. So
Don't put that out on yourself.
No, because like they were talking about COVID and stuff like that. I literally had no clue, like absolutely no clue
Monica,
until
there's
that
still
happened.
people in this country that still don't think it's real, or that still don't
true.
think it's a big deal.
That is
So
true. That is true.
You're okay. No, you're really incredible, and
Yeah,
I'm just inspired
absolutely.
sitting here.
Thank you.
Where
think
can
it's-
go ahead,
Sorry.
Amber?
I think it's really cool, like as a girl, to see somebody who is so like effortlessly just themselves and doing what they want and kind of going after and being so independent. Was that a negative at all? Like, did that get perceived negatively at all by possibly friends or family of friends?
I would say relationships, yes. But family-wise, like I've been living without a family, like without my parents. I would say not family. Since 2014, I kind of moved out with my siblings, and my siblings and I lived together as a family. So like I was away from my parents, but I still had my family, and kind of was the boss of the family because I'm the eldest. So like I was the one making rules. So it was not that hard when it comes to that after 2014 at least. But there were huge advantages to relationships where I think another relationship that was like 3 years long, and you know, being independent and like being out in social media community and stuff like that kind of, and being not Punjabi, that hurt me where negatively where the person left. And what did I do wrong? Nothing. But, you know, these things worked against me. In another relationship, like the person really could not stand the fact that I was in public like that. So, like, it has worked negatively against me in, like, when it comes to relationship aspect of it, but not anything else. I think my friends and family is funny. Yeah.
I feel like I felt like that helped you weed it out too, because if you like to pursue whatever you like to pursue, and somebody finds that to be overwhelming, then they just can't handle you. I always say
They
I
might be
learned that a
intimidated.
little hard way,
Yeah.
but I learned that.
yeah. I always say people dudes want a bad bleep, but they don't want a bad bleep. Like they
That's true.
want it, but they don't want what comes with it. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh well, I want all these great aspects, but why are you so public? Why are you so social? Why are you
Correct.
so this? It's
So like
you
whatever,
can't have this without this.
whatever that got them to be attracted towards me is what worked against me after. We're like, oh no, it's not allowed anymore. Yeah, but everything else, like my friends have always been supportive. I think more than my family, my friends have helped me through it. Like, you know, I have friends since high school and college, and I keep up with them like on a weekly basis. Like that's how strong it is for me, and I keep my friends and family very, very close. So I think that the support system has been great as well.
You went from wanting to be a housewife to literally
Yes.
like, you know, being a
Somebody who
boss
can
and
settle.
owning your own business and all of that. Do you ever think about, like, reflect on your life and think, you know, how things would have been so much different if you had even, you know, had one little element change or not happen for you?
I do like complain time to time. We're like, oh God, why did you choose me to go through all this struggle? But I think like, no, I think that is what made me who I am. If I had not struggled and like worked my way around things, I would not be this resourceful, and like I would not be this hardworking and stuff like that. Hardworking maybe like to a certain extent, but today where I am at and the way I've pushed myself is through all the disadvantages that I got. Like one of the biggest disadvantage that nobody knew about me was my immigration status. I turned 21, I came with my family, and I got rejected from the family where I couldn't get my green card. So I had to go through the whole F1 route. I had to pay $16,000 a semester out of pocket to go to school. So it was a huge like issue where nothing in my life was just like sane, like it was not normal, because like with this much tuition, you know, we had conflicts in our family, and it was just too much, and like the whole relationship falling apart. Like I have been through those points where I'm like, okay, that's it for me. I'm done with life. But like had I not gone through that, I would not push myself harder to become somebody to like get where I am today. So I think everything played a role, kind of.
You could have been flipping rotis, but you flipped the script instead.
Yes, good line. I will use that one.
Monica, where can people find you and keep up with all the incredible work that you're doing? Anything you want to shout out or plug, go ahead, and we'll link it below.
I would say Instagram, as it's my main platform. As I said earlier, you can just search me on Instagram with Monica Ahuja or at Miss Ahuja. It would work. It would show up. If not, my car tags are same. You can come look at them.
Your car, like your license plate?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, somebody's gonna file a policy against you.
I was 16 and I was dumb, so let's say that was the decision I made at that point, and I was all about myself at that point.
It's also pretty baller, though.
No, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I think I'm used to it now. Like, first, I mean, there are times where I'm like, oh, no, that's not me. That was just young me. But then at the same time, I would be like, that's me. That's totally me.
If they see you parked somewhere, they know, like, pull up.
That's the only problem, because I've got caught lying about it.
Oh, like you said you were somewhere else and you were...
Yeah, I've gotten caught
I saw
a
your
couple
car.
times.
That wasn't my car. I saw your plates.
Or like
That's true.
surprises. If we're planning surprises, where I have to park my car way far away for them to not see my car. So there have been a couple cons here and there, but then mostly pros. But yeah, anybody can find me on Instagram. I think it's easier way. And then I also have my blog. I am actually a blogger with a website where I do put content on. It's monica-ahuja.com.
What kind of stuff do you put on the blog? Is it like, sharing your personal
Fashion,
story and
travel,
everything?
stuff
Okay,
like that.
okay.
Yeah. Anything to do at Instagram, it kind of reflects on my website, and then it kind of like, cohesively kind of ties it together. And then, because I do work with a lot of brands, and I'm partnered with a lot of brands where they expect me to create content on the site, and that's kind of how it works. That's how I make revenue out of it. So I keep up with it.
Amazing, amazing. We love it. Okay, Monica, you're on Strange Flavors. We have to ask you an extremely important question at the end.
Yes.
So be prepared. All right, SHAH-AMEER, take it away.
You could describe yourself in any flavor. What would it be and why?
Can I do two?
Combine
We
it.
could combine it.
Combine them.
So a flavor as in like a spice flavor, or?
It can be anything. Yeah.
So, I'm like one of those like sweet and sour candy type of person where I have like the sweetness to it, but then at the same time I got enough like hot sourness to myself. So I would say that.
That's the side the relationships couldn't figure out, right?
Yes.
We didn't see it today. We only saw the sweet side.
Yeah. See,
That's awesome. Sweet and sour.
maybe the
but-
next episode is when I'm going to show the sour side.
That's when you gotta come on and just.
No. The
Unleash.
sour side probably is like when she's a dance instructor. Yo, she probably comes out with a stick, like putting
A
you in your
sortie on her
place.
hand. Like,
Yes.
Are you aggressive when you're like telling people how to dance?
No, I can't
No?
fight. Like, I'm not aggressive at all.
Okay.
Like, I hate like arguments and stuff like that. I'm that person who would like avoid a conflict. So no.
Okay, well maybe I need to come in the dance studio sometime, and then you're gonna set you off.
Oh, damn. Well, try me. I would like to see that too. Somebody has been asking me, I've never seen your that side. And I'm like, yeah, I figured that.
Well, I think it would
So-
just be really difficult because I take forever to memorize something. That's
Oh.
why.
It's okay.
you-
We
you
got
still
this
kill it.
for you. That will work
you
out.
We'll do that. Well, I'll stick to TikTok. No,
Oh,
Monica,
it's been
thank you
great,
so
guys.
much for coming on the show. And again, like, I was not expecting like this much inspiration, but you're a killer, and I'm so glad you were here.
Thank you. Well, thank you for definitely reaching out. It's been fun. It's been talking to 3-4 I mean, I don't know if there are 2 there, but 3 amazing people. I've seen all of your videos and I keep up with it, and I think they're very they're hilarious. So
Oh,
it's
thank
fun.
you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll have to come by the studio sometime
Please
so we
do.
can make one of those videos there.
Maybe make an episode at the studio. I'd like
There
to
we
see
go.
that.
There we go. See, we're talking. She's doing her thing. All right, Monica, thank you again. And thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of Strange Flavors. It's been another week.
Another flavor.
a little less stranger.
We'll talk to you next time.